Hey guys, Alex here. My Evolve 11 review. The IPPV was last night on WNNLive.com. This is actually my very first Evolve show. I've actually never seen an Evolve show, but I've been following Dragon Gate pretty regularly, so I figured I'd give it a shot. And kind of a disappointing show. Let me just get into it. The first match was the Chuck Taylor's new group, the Gentleman's Club, versus the Super Smash Bros. Pretty alright match, nothing really special. Got a decent time to it. Wasn't really offended when the Kentucky Gentlemen or whatever, Gentlemen's Club, whatever they're called, were on offense. They weren't bad. They just were kind of average. There wasn't really anything special. One hit a pretty nice move like during the match and looked like it was gonna give it a nice false finish, but that's about it. Finish was kind of cool though, where like the Super Smash Brothers hit their finisher and everything. So I like the finish a lot, but nothing really special about this match, and nothing just that like really stood out. It was just kind of a basic tag match. So I'll give it 2 3/4. Then we had this is where kind of the show started to take a downward tilt. Like the next 3 matches were all no-name jobbers or local talent in matches. So first one was McKinnan versus Josh Alexander. Crowd really liked Josh Alexander. Like apparently he was the local guy, and like so he's pretty over the crowd. This was really short but very nice wrestling. I actually enjoyed this one a lot. I just thought it was like really exciting match. Went pretty well. Were a few botches. McKinnan or whatever had a few botches in the opening minutes of the match, but they covered nicely and wasn't too bad. But I actually enjoyed this one. This was actually probably the one that got. If we had more time, I probably would like it more. But I'll give it 2 stars just because for the action that was there, it was good. Then we had Mike Rollins versus Alex Sixx. Really short. Wasn't really much to it. Few nice things here and there. Crowd didn't really care. And it was just average match. I give it a 1.5 stars. Then another one, Reynolds versus John Silver. I think a few people knew who John Silver was. I think it was another local guy. I'm not sure. Pretty good. Nice few counters here and there. Like apparently the two had like feud before. Like they're both local guys. I remember. And so they've like known each other pretty well. Crowd wasn't much into it, and it went pretty long. For me anyway. I don't know if anyone else felt that. But they had some really good counters in the whole match. So I'll give it 2.5. But like I said, it felt like it went long, and the crowd was really dead for it. So. And then we had Samurai Del Sol versus Chuck Taylor, which then turned into a 3-way with Johnny Gargano and elimination style rules. First part of the match was an awesome spot fest at first. All 3 of the guys really doing some good moves, especially Samurai Del Sol and Johnny Gargano. They really worked well together. And Samurai Del Sol got eliminated, turned to Chuck Taylor versus Johnny Gargano. Pretty good match, nice storytelling to it. Basically both guys just trying to get their hands on each other. Chuck Taylor working the back of Johnny Gargano. Nice counters and everything. So it was a good match. Crowd didn't really like it that much though. They didn't really react to it as I expect. They were kind of dead. This whole crowd was kind of dead the whole night, really. And then the finish came with like Chuck Taylor had the cross or the single leg Boston Crab, and Johnny Gargano pass out of the pain. I'm not sure how I feel about that finish. I think that it works because you leave it open for a rematch. You can't have Chuck Taylor going over on Johnny Gargano or Johnny Gargano beating Chuck Taylor right away because it's like the first match in the feud. But I think it works. I wouldn't have minded if it was like a disqualification or a count out, whatever. But I think this one works just as well. But it leaves it open for a rematch. I give it 3 3/4. It was actually pretty good, and probably the best, like the third best match on the card. Then we had another match up the intermission, which was Adam Page, another jobber, versus Caleb O'Connolly, or one guy at the scene. This was alright, pretty good. Adam Page at one point was on the apron, did a shooting star press at the outside, which was really cool. Connor looked good, he looked a lot better than he usually does. He actually impressed me more than his matches with the scene I saw at WrestleMania weekend. So, but wasn't much to it, I'll give it 2 1/4. But it was alright. But like I said, it was another, jobber versus nobody. So, kind of bad. Then we had one of the main events, this was Loki versus El Generico. This was a really good match, actually. I liked it a lot. Hard hitting as hell. Like, these guys were just stiff to each other, especially Loki. Like, he can kick a guy when he wants to. Good technical wrestling parts, they're trying to counter each other. Like, really cool part where Loki had the Dragon Sleeper on and El Generico had to counter out of it. Some good stuff here. I gotta mention the finish. The finish was awesome. Like, El Generico, like, hurt his knee during the match. Like, he went for the Yakuza kick and missed it. Like, so he hit his knee pretty hard in the turnbuckle. And then, like, he goes to the brainbuster later on in the match. Can't deliver. Like, he falls down, like, because his knee hurts. Loki goes up to the top. And, like, Generico's, like, bent over, like, kind of like in a seated position. And he double stomps him in his back and looked like he bent him in half. And I just thought, holy shit, that finish just made that match. That was awesome. I thought that was one of the coolest finishes I've seen in a long time. Just brutal. Good match, and then Loki cut a promo afterwards saying that Generico's not as good as he thinks, basically teasing a heel turn, which I think works well because Loki's just one of those guys that his style of wrestling works for a good heel really well. So, just my opinion. I give it 4 stars though. Really, really great match. Then we had the main event, which is Dave Finlay versus Sami Callihan. This match just brutal, and stiff. Like within the first minute of the match, Finlay headbutted Sami Callihan and busted him open, and it's just like holy shit, that's pretty hardcore. And whole match was just basically like them just working each other over, like just trying to out muscle each other. Few good technical wrestling spots, like Finlay working over Callihan's knees, Sami Callihan doing the same to fit Finlay. Really good stuff. Like there's one part where they just kept kicking, running at each other and kicking each other in the face at the same time. Pretty cool. I like the finish a lot. Although I kind of wanted Sami Callihan to go over here just because I think he needed the win more. Especially after this whole thing where he didn't beat Sabu and now he lost to Finlay. So I don't know what they're leading up to, but it should be alright. But kudos to these guys for just putting on a stiff match and really showing how legitimately tough these guys are. Like, I saw a few shots, I'm just like I'm pretty sure that Sami Callihan probably had a concussion during this match because Finlay was just beating the shit out of him during this match. And, kudos to both these guys, though, just for being tough. And I'd probably give it 4 stars. Really enjoyable. I'm sure some people enjoyed it more than me. I think I might have dragged a little bit, but not too much. But like I said, it was good. Compared to the rest of the card, like the 2 main events and the Samurai Del Sol, Johnny Gargano, Chuck Taylor match were awesome. Like, they were miles above them. The whole card, just, 3 matches were good on a, 7-card show. That's kind of bad. And especially since it's my first Evolve show, probably won't see me doing a lot of Evolve show reviews in the future. But, all in all, I'll give it a 7 just based on the solid nature of the 3 main events, or 3 major matches were good. And the rest of the card there wasn't anything bad. It just wasn't worthy of, a pay-per-view show. They were like dark matches. But that's it for now. Take care. Bye.